Now, the great thing about these percolators is you can tell how strong your coffee's going to be by the darkness of the liquid coming through that bubble. So you can let it brew as long or as short as you like. So the good people at Wild Camping International have sent me a product to test out and review. They've obviously seen me using my old battered percolator on some of my camps. They sent me one of theirs. I thought to show you a quick comparison, knock up my first brew in it, and let you know what I think. Right, first things first, let's have a butcher's. As you can see, stainless steel 9-cup pot, which is really good. The innards, once again stainless steel. That there has a fine mesh at the bottom, really good quality, looks the bizzo. You can obviously just use that as a kettle when need be. Fits in, lovely job. Plastic bowl at the top so you can see when your coffee's coming through. Now, this, pretty much the same, but it's a much cheaper metal. Forever bending this thing, and as you can see in there, it isn't galls, it's just fine holes, which does let a load of coffee pung through. Now, I've used this on a slack handful, probably about 10 camps in total. It's been brilliant, it really has. Cost me 20 quid off a generic thing on Amazon, but it does have its limitations. When you pour your coffee, you get a bit of sludge at the bottom, etc, etc. This thing here, you have your bail arm and a little loop to help you pour. Obviously, when that don't sit up straight, it does fall down and burn your hands. This does have a separate handle with 2 grips, it's vented. Lovely job. I'll see how it works in a minute. It might be pants, but. So what you do, what I will do now, this also comes with filters for the bottom, which would obviously stop any ingress of coffee. Yeah. I'm going to add a little bit of coffee to that. Not too much, because I'm only making 1 brew. Put that on there like so. A little bit of water. Plop her in and whack her on the stove. Now the idea is, the hot water travels up there, comes out the top, hits the bowl, drips back down through the coffee. It's a percolator. You've all seen a percolator. So, just to see if it's going to work out on a lot of my trips, because obviously it's a bulky item to carry, I'm actually going to cook it up on a fancy feast stove. As soon as I can find my mess, which is stood right next to me. These currently retail at $39.99, so twice the price of this. I've got to say, from first impressions, it is a lot better quality. A lot better quality. Is that even English? It is much better quality than that. I don't know what it's going to be like when I stick it straight on a file, which I will be doing, because that obviously works. You can hang it from the bail arm. This has got a much bigger bail arm with a little nipple at the top, so it'll sit nice and flush. One thing that all these do is these little pincers, you've got to keep bending them out to get it to hold it up in the air, like so. Anyway, my wife's sitting there laughing at me. I'm not. Because, you know, she's a bit of a dick. So what I'm going to do is just fire up the fancy feast. She's a blowing. I'll put that straight on top. And I will bring you in when she starts hubbling and bubbling, just to show you what she looks like. So on a cheap and nasty fancy feast stove, you can just see now that bubbling. Now the great thing about these percolators is you can tell how strong your coffee's going to be by the darkness of the liquid coming through that bubble. So you can let it brew as long or as short as you like. So far, so good. I'm going to pour it out into my coffee cup and see if there's any sludge at the bottom. I'm optimistic. I would say looking at it is definitely worth the extra money than what I paid for that one. purely on build quality and materials alone, yeah, I'm optimistic. So as you can see now, that's getting darker and darker. One thing I will say, which is a little negative, not a lot of people will be using these sort of stoves, but on that last clip, the bell arm did fall down and I went to move it, but because it is longer than the actual cooker itself, yeah, that sort of melted my hand a bit. But as I say, they'd normally go straight on the fire. It's a common problem with these clasps at the top not being strong enough to hold the bell arm up when it's cooking. So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to pour that out and see what the coffee looks like, see how much sludge there is. But that bloody ow. Pick that up. That's hot. So again, that handle should cool down shortly. Right at this second, it is a bit hot. So let's get that through there. It's a great colour. Just pop that up, let that cool down a bit, and I'll see how much sludge is in the bottom. But I didn't see any coming out as the coffee was being poured. That's whitener in there, in case you're wondering. It looks like off milk. No, can't see any coffee granules. I'll have a look when that's cooled down, and also have a look inside that pot. But ow. In fact, let's have a look now. It's actually looking, I know that was a pig's ear of it. If you actually look inside there, you can see there's no granules, which is a big improvement on the other one. So, injuries aside, and the fact that this does actually get really hot, yeah, it's still hot. I think because it's a better material, it actually stays hotter for longer. That is obviously a lot more user error than a problem with the equipment. I'm happy with it. I'm not a review channel, as you know, and if it's pants, I'm going to tell you it's pants. Obviously, burning myself weren't the best start, but as I say, that's got a lot more to do with me than the equipment. If you do go for one, just please bear in mind, it does get hot. Anyone that does any sort of bushcraft always has a set of gloves. As you can see, I'm not bushcrafting at the moment, so yeah, I didn't. Really impressed with it. I'll let you know how the coffee tastes. So, just put it now on the gas stove, and as you can see, I've amended the handle because it keeps falling over. It's not much cop, but also just on a normal sized hob that is so tight and could quite easily slip when it starts bubbling. Yeah. Ultimate honesty in my reviews, as I say. Overall, for campfires and hanging over fires, really not a problem. If you've got any sort of grill, not an issue. Even the stoves like I was using there, or a little camping stove, absolutely fine. Just be careful of that bail arm, because that heats up really quick, as does the handle. You don't want to be singeing your fingers on that. So then, taste test. Bloody good cup of coffee. As I said, I'm not paid by them. They've not offered me anything. I did get the pot for free. I'm always going to be 100% honest with you. I'm not a review channel. You know, one of the reasons I said yes to them, because generally I say no, is purely because I'm trying to steer away from the AliExpresses and the massive companies chucking tat out, and I want to go for more cottage industries. And I know that these are a UK based firm, as I say, Wild Camping International. Link in the description below to their website. They do all sorts of stuff, tarps, all like wooden cutlery and things like that. Got to say the tarps look pretty good. You're going to get a 3x3 for the same, if not a little bit less than a DD tarp, and I can't vouch for the quality of them. I haven't tried one out, but a tarp's a tarp. Yeah, hopefully pop over, say hello, and give it a crack. That is a really good percolator if you like your coffee. Much better quality than the other. Just mind out, the handles can get hot. And I'll tell you what I'll do now. Have a look at this. Oh, bollocks. That's what happens when you're a ham-fisted spadoofer cooking on a fancy feast and reaching over. Not the first time I've done it. I'm a bit of a prick. So Wild Camping International, give them a check. I'm going to enjoy my coffee and my blistered fingers. Once again, that was user error, not really their fault. Having said that, if you are watching this Wild Camping International, the bits that are meant to hold that bail arm up in the air are really not fit for purpose. I wedged, as you can see in that other little clip, a stick to hold it up and it worked fine. If people are happy to do that, do that. You're not alone. Every bleeding tin known to man always has that, where it just won't hold that bail arm up, right up, vertically. There you go. If you can sort that, wicked. You've got a really good bit of kit. Well worth the 40 quid. It's definitely twice the pot that the other one is. And can't beat a bit of coffee. Till next time, sweat bead, ta-da!